Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Amit. And Amit writes, recently in Australia, our biggest movie theater chain, Event Cinemas, have introduced initiatives such as booking out an entire hall for 20 or so friends to play any movie on request, subject to availability, of course, for around $500. There is even an option to play any video game on the big screen, provided guests supply their own consoles. My question is, in today's environment, do movie theaters need to reinvent themselves in such creative ways to stay in business? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, this was actually really cool. They sent me a link for this as well, and I went over to check it out. And what they had up there was actually really rather cool. It's this idea of, and this is an Australian movie theater chain, you come, you can book it for up to 20 people, $500, and you can watch any movie you want on there. And this is why this is appealing to me, because some people might say, well, $500, that doesn't sound all that great. I mean, you're still, if you have 20 people, $500, you're still paying $20 per person. Yeah, but look at this deal that they're offering for this. The deal that they're offering for this actually looks pretty good. The idea is, this is what it says on their site. For a limited time only, you can book your own cinema for just $500 with our special private booking package. Book before the 31st of July to access this special offer. The private booking package includes a private cinema for up to 20 people, a movie of your choice. They have a big library of films that you can choose from. You may not be able to get everything, but they've got a big library there, including a range of new releases, cult classics, and family favorites. Here's the key: unlimited medium popcorn and drinks. I mean, that's probably why it's getting up there. I'll tell you what, I love this idea. I think this idea is gangbusters good. And one of the reasons why I like the idea so much is because, number one, it shows a little bit of creativity on the part of the movie theaters. Now, listen, movie theaters going all the way back to like the 1930s had to be creative with their use because it's a big space. They're paying a lot for it. And what used to happen in the olden days a lot, back in my grandfather's day, was that sometimes movie theaters would even like have live stage productions. Like if they had a stretch where they didn't think any big movies were coming out that was they would basically shut down the movie part of it, and they would have a stage, and they would actually have live plays come in and do live plays. I mean, movie theaters got to do what they need to do to generate revenue. We see this happening already in North American cinemas because just last year, they started showing NFL games on a lot of big screens like AMC. If I want to, they had a certain number of games that they would play on a Sunday because I like watching football in a group. You could go down to AMC, you buy a ticket, you get some snacks, you get some food, you get a seat, and you get to watch the football game with a bunch of people. So movie theaters have been trying to adapt and find creative ways to generate revenue like this, and it's a great idea. This particular idea I think is great. Now, there have been organizations around for the past number of years that will help you book a theater privately as long as you can sell a certain number of tickets and they have a library of films that you can choose from. This kind of thing takes it appears to me to take it just one step further, where you're getting, up to 20 people, unlimited popcorn, unlimited drinks. That's major because that's where movie theaters make most of their money. And for you to do that, listen, anything that a movie theater can do to generate more revenue, I'm all for. And Rob, what I have found is not just with the movie theater industry, but with the movie theater industry in particular, is we're okay with you charging us for things if it's things we find are valuable. Right. We as consumers, we don't mind paying for stuff if we feel we're getting value for what we're paying. And if movie theaters can come up with creative ways to generate more revenue that we as consumers would consider value enough that we're willing to pay for, whether it's showing NFL games, whether it's getting a party to come into the theater to play video games for a few hours, whether it's like this, booking your own private screening. If they can come up with creative ways like that, I'm all for it, especially when you got these movie theaters today, Rob, like the AMC Burbank 16 that has 16 screens in it. I'm all for it. Rob, what do you think about this little initiative by the Australian thing? And can you think of some other maybe creative ways that theaters might be able to utilize their facilities to generate revenue?
Well, like you, I mean, booking a movie party with your friends and can you imagine if the AMC 16 by your house, you book the Dolby Cinema and you could call up you and your friends, like 20, 25 people, everybody kicks in. And knowing people have been quarantining, it's going to be safe or whatever. That would be so much fun. I mean, I would if movie theaters like set aside mornings, like from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or something to do that. I would make that a regular practice. Especially if you could book a theater on the weekends, like on a Saturday morning. How cool would that be? Like you and your friends, you get to see everybody and you all go out to lunch and talk about the film afterwards. I mean, that's a cool thing to be able to do. I don't know if they'll be able to adopt it here, but I think stuff like that, I mean, anything that where you have communal viewing experiences. Now, football games are good, but like, what if somebody said, okay, today we're binge watching the Umbrella Academy? I would go watch 9 hours of the Umbrella Academy or 10 hours at a movie theater to watch the whole thing on a big screen with a big sound system. Netflix presents binging days or whatever. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. I mean, maybe it would only work as a novelty at first, but I could see that if you had, especially if you could order, like, didn't they say you could order up like any movie you wanted?
If it's available, if they have it in their library that they have access to. So I mean, that's true.
Like, what if you had like a bunch of people that says, let's rock the Godfather trilogy or let's rock Lord of the Rings. And, you could have a special day where you pay $500 to sit there and you and all your friends get to watch the extended editions of Lord of the Rings. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that, look, again, we're using the AMC Burbank 16, but there's lots of Cineplexes around the country that have 8, 10, 16, 20, 24 theaters in it. And listen, when we think of the movie theater going experience, we think of opening Friday night and the theaters are packed. And you think, well, how can having 15 or 20 people paying $500 come and be cost effective? Because for the vast majority of screening times, Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., Monday through Thursday, there are a lot of those screenings that have like 5, 8, 12 people in them. So there's a lot of opportunity there for theaters to say, hey, we could play, Bloodshot for 6 people on, Wednesday at 5 p.m. and make, $130, or we can book out a private party for $500 and make more money and get more people coming into the theater. So I think it's a win for the consumers if there's special things they want to do. I think it's a win for the movie theaters. I just think they need to utilize trying to get more creative with their facilities. Yeah,
I do too. Anyway, I think it's cool. Question
is for you guys. What do you think about this? Maybe you think, nah, man, listen, movie theaters are the temple of movies. Keep it sacred. Don't deflower it with other stuff. Or maybe you're like me and you think, there's a lot of other things you can do. If so, what other types of creative ideas can you think of that movie theaters can do that we as consumers would think, yes, that's valuable enough that I would actually pay for that? Jump down into the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.